Hello, everyone. Good night, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Happy New Year to all of you again. और जो लोग फेसबुक से ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं उनके लिए ये देखें खूबसूरत ओहो looks like I still got some skills. To all of you, how are you doing, everyone? Today we'll continue our journey for PulseChecker. We are also going to look into the database migration that I was doing, and we'll continue from there and we'll see how it goes then. I'm also very happy to announce that my book has been published. Yay! Finally. And it is available now on Amazon. The first book has gotten about 4.3 rating out of 5, about 47 people. The second book seems to be doing okay, but I don't have I've heard rumors but not actual data. Maybe I should look into actual data instead. Oh, it looks like actually there has been 3 days. We should have published a book with you in order to keep improving the. Ah, okay, cool. So this is updated when 2023. Okay. Direct digital. That's it. That's weird. How it shows the book has some revenue, but it doesn't show where from. Anyways, we'll see. How are you doing, everyone? How's everyone doing? Let's enable this. Reply commands. Um, all right, let's see. Cool. Let's actually get right into PulseChecker. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. But I'm going to jump right into the PulseChecker thingy. So let's quickly start. I'm hoping today we're going to at least finish some of the work. So we did create a new database table. Last time we added some columns to it as well. I don't think we've run any migrations, but we will do that today. And then we'll look into all other data as well. Mohammed Fazan Asghar says, "Yeah, doing fine. Awesome. How was your how positive are you with the new year thingy? Do you have some interesting plans for 2024 or interesting goals that you want to share?" Okay, so this goes right here. Let's see if I can open this. We'll also have to upgrade NestJS hopefully soon. So document builder, the set base path has been deprecated now. A global prefix is populated automatically if you ah I can add server. Interesting. This is something new in NestJS. I didn't see this before. Oh, it's because of Swagger. Document builder, set base path v1. Okay, so how does it do now? NestJS Swagger takes the Swagger configuration, add tag cats, and then does it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mhm. Looking at why does it complain about this set base path, and what is different now? Set base, no, it doesn't show it. Add server doesn't show it as well. Then why does it cry? Oh, I also don't have my Docker running, so the database won't work, or at least the database is not started. So let's start this guy. I'm gonna stop both of them. I'm gonna start this guy. See. Shahjahan Sarfaraz, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you, Shahjahan? How's it going? Faizan says, a lot of positives to start with. The only goal I have for this year is to update my Django dev game. Ooh, fancy. Awesome. Do share in the community either on WhatsApp or on Discord when you're done. I think WhatsApp is much more active now compared to Discord. Do you think we should bring the people of Discord to WhatsApp, or should we keep one of those or multiple? Because I find it very hard to maintain all of them, to keep track on both Discord and WhatsApp. And I think the communities there are more for people to interact with each other rather than me sharing information or me asking questions, because yeah, I can get very busy, unfortunately. So let's run the server again. I think now we should have the Docker server running. Let's see. There we go. We should be able to connect to that. I'm good, Shahjahan. Thank you for asking. I just finished building my semester project. Ooh, cool. What is your project? Can you share with us as well? So here it says application running or global prefix. What is the global prefix? v1. So we are using the set global prefix right here. I think it does. It does it. So okay, so we don't need to then provide this at all since this is deprecated. Because I saw here or here, so here. So document builder in the set base path method has been deprecated. Now a global prefix is populated automatically. If you want to ignore it, take a look here. Okay. So let's first have a look at the Swagger documentation that we have. Installation, which is right here. And then if I try to go to my localhost 3000 API, I don't think it's on 3000. I think I have a different port. Oh, it's actually 3000. I think it should be docs as far as I remember. Yeah, so it's on docs. v1 users, blah blah blah. I think that's why it's probably asking that there's nothing on v1. If I go to localhost 3000 slash API slash v1, I don't get it, right? And it should actually be 333, I think. Does it do anything? No. Let me confirm if this is accurate. No, it's 3000. Sorry, not 333. Good. Okay, so then I don't need to set v1. And then if I refresh now, let's see if I can find it. Okay, I'm gonna restart my server. I think this probably needs to rebuild, but I'll see. Shaja says, yes, I can. It's a real-time doodle detector using AI. Is it deployed somewhere? Can we have a look at that? Do you have a link? Oh, it's not on production yet. Got it. Got you. Got you. It's interesting. What did you use for AI? Did you use Gemini or ChatGPT, or what are you using? I haven't joined the Discord WhatsApp as I didn't know about it. Always enjoy your content, although never work with JavaScript and its library frameworks as much. Aha, okay, no problem, Faizan. We do have a WhatsApp community, but I don't think I have this online on my website. We could create a link to add that, but I haven't done it yet. but it is a WhatsApp community. If you're interested, I can try to find a link and share with you, or if anyone in the chat has it already, you can also share that. I see that the WhatsApp community is much active than yeah, than the other ones. Okay, let's have a look at this. So we do have some sessions that we created. Let's add this one. So this is the API, and I should be able to get by pin as well. Sessions by pin. This doesn't require anything, so I can just pass the pin, execute, and I should be able to get, yes, the response body. So this is the one, Rapid API host. Okay, so our backend is working fine. What we do want to do, for those of you who don't know, we have a situation where we have, let me actually show you. So we have a bunch of things in our schema, and our database schema, that we want to get rid of, and we want to combine them into one thing. So right now I do have Prisma schema right here. So this right here has a bunch of things, and this is the question type that we created. The comment with the side thing is being filtered. Aha, okay, yeah, that's the default setting for YouTube. Let me fix that. YouTube, let's have a look at that. And got it. Let's see if I can allow you. Community moderation. Block links. You should be good now. You should be able to post links now. Oh, cool. So we did add some links before and some reactions to it as well. Let's quickly add one more. So maybe, for example, this one doesn't have any reactions. So let's quickly use this one. So here I can open the link. Hey Kamlesh, how's it going, Kamlesh? You good? Kamlesh joined the stream. Woohoo! And then we also should be able to react to these as well. So let's quickly, still not? Let me make you a moderator. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can find you, because I did save it. I said let's see, you should be able to then do it. Add as a moderator. Let's see if you are able to do it now. So let's react on these as well. Now we can submit. Feedback submitted. I think it would also be interesting if we could, if others who are also giving feedback on the same session could see these reactions from others. I've seen a couple of applications doing it. I think Mentimeter does that as well. So that would be fun. Okay, I can see the link now. Let's have a link. Let's have a look at the link. Why does it say Spanish to English? Okay, let's see. So maybe I can start drawing. Paintbrush, fork. Okay, here I can draw it. By the way, if you don't know yet, my screen is really bad. You see this box? I only see this box on my other screen. I don't see it on this screen because this grays out a lot of things for me. So I don't really see the box at all. That's why I'm super confused on where to draw. But I can adjust it. I can see the other screen and then I can draw it. So here, Ooh, look at my drawing. Look at my drawing. What the heck? It says bat 51%. It's not a bat. Which screen is it? It's an Asus. Is I got it second hand. I don't recall which one is it. I think I can see it in the settings. It's a 34-inch Asus PG329. Asus PG329. Yeah, this is the one. No, it's not. It's not curved. It is this one, I think. Yeah, it's this one. Super flat. Is it 32? It's 32-inch and not 34. Ooh, okay. But this one. But I have this mounted on a wall, not a wall, but a mounting arm, and it's not on the desk. But yeah, this is the one. Super nice. But I can see the lights because they're on the back. Um, I think duck is not in there. Ah, okay. So these are the only options. Okay, let's try. Let's try peanut. Okay, let's see. It's a snake 97%. What the heck? 100% snake? No. 30 classes. Aha, okay. So you have a bunch of classes. Okay. What if I draw a circle? Does it say moon 32%? Leaf 23%. Okay. What if I go like this? Ooh, leaf 56%. That's super cool. Leaf 44%, 37%. Now it's more like a snake. Lollipop. Potatoes, axe. Let's actually draw an axe. This is a bat. 27%, axe 16%. So as you can see, my drawing is not really good. What about the headphones and microphone you're using? Usman, the headphones that I'm using are Steel Series Octis Pro Wireless. These ones. These have been very comfortable, but I don't like them anymore because I have to charge my battery quite a lot. I mean, it's a really good headphone, especially for spatial audio. So when you're in the game, you can actually hear like which side the sound is coming from. So it's really good for that. The one thing that I don't like is, for example, yeah, because these are close backed, I don't hear myself a lot, and I end up speaking or shouting quite a lot. So I have to open the microphone and then I can pass through. Now I can hear pretty well, so I will not shout now because I can hear myself. So one of the things with the closed back headphones is that you don't hear yourself, and then if you're speaking or you're recording a video, then I get like sore throat really soon. The microphones are pretty famous ones. This is a Shure MV7. This one. This is the microphone. You should be able to see it in here. Oops, there. So the Shure MV7 is a really good microphone. First of all, it's a condenser microphone, so it has one direction, so it's a unidirectional. So if the sounds from the backside are coming into the microphone will not register that, and that's very good for noise cancellation. And I had a lot of issues before with the microphones I used before this one, of just catching noise from all around, for example from the CPU, and then if someone is outside, you would also hear them as well. But with this one I don't even have to turn on the noise cancellation quite a lot because it has a lot of its own, and I think it's a very decent microphone. Do you use a mechanical keyboard? Afan is asking. Yes. I don't remember which one was this one, but is this one. It's Keychron K8. Now I remember it. It's Keychron K8. So this is a you can call it a custom keyboard because I got the body separately and then the keys separately as well. So this is pretty much configurable. So you can implement different switches as well, and different sort of not layouts. I mean, you could also probably change layouts as well, but the body comes differently and then the keys come differently and then the layer also comes differently. I can also swap the whole chipset within the keyboard, although I'm not into all of those customizations. So I just use what I got. But yeah, if you search Keychron K8, you will find that as well. It's Keychron, oops, Keychron K8. This is the one. Yes. Yep, that's the one. But I just changed the keys to something else. And you can also swap different blue switches. No, red. I like the ones. I mean, I like my keyboard to be a bit silent, not too loud. So I don't go with blue, or I mean even brown switches, not really. But I like red ones. Do. You shared the model thingy. But we saw the okay. So this is the GitHub. Interesting. Initial commit 3 hours ago. You have a typo in initial, and you have used Vue.js and Vite. Ooh, nice, awesome. So if I do a standing X, then should it work? Let's see if I can draw nicely. So this. That's the weirdest X I've ever seen. Looks like more a flag. So it's a t-shirt, of course. Sun, windmill. Did you train the model yourself or did you get a pre-trained model? This is your model. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so you're using the quick draw dataset. Uh-huh. Okay. I don't know Python, by the way. Hmm. Hmm. But how are you running the model itself? It's not here. The app view is using a predix. You're using a debounce. You're making a call to. Are you using TensorFlow JS? Yeah, you're using TensorFlow JS. Okay, got you. Interesting. Nice. This is cool. This is pretty cool. But you've created a model, because I'm a beginner in the model and the AI stuff. So you have a draw doodle Python code. Then you also have the TensorFlow JS, which is using a JSON file, which is this model. Draw sir as an teacher and still waiting for advanced web dev course. Okay. Hopefully soon in 2024, for sure. So you have your model JSON here as well, and this is inside model JSON, but I don't see the folder. Source, lib, components, assets, not really here. How do you download your model and then it's stored inside the model JSON? I exported the model to H5 and to model JSON for client side processing. Ah, okay. So right now the prediction is actually happening on the client side and not on the server. It's in public, of course. Cool. Okay. That doesn't look so okay. It doesn't look huge, so it's quite minimal. That's nice. Okay. This is cool. Pretty cool. Good stuff. Kamli says, I'm a .NET developer and I recently see your Angular playlist. Should I continue Angular with .NET or anything else? I think Angular and .NET has a really good combination because it's with the C# like flavor in Angular, like classes, interfaces, a bunch of those things that you can use, the all the OOP concepts. I think you can really benefit from those. So it's a really good combination that I've seen in multiple companies. Being a software architect, I think I would recommend because it's quite easy to shift between your .NET side with Angular. But yeah, Angular has much more in that as well. You can either continue the playlist of Angular if you want. I don't think, to be honest, that I have really big. I mean, I have some good videos, yes, but I think if you're really interested in getting your Angular skills to like the next level, I would rather recommend looking into the Angular Cookbook, to be honest. I'm going to share the link with you so you can also have a look. But the second edition of the book just got released on December 29th, so it's pretty new. The first book has 4.3 star ratings out of 5, which is amazing, from 48 different people, which is very big for me. And the second book, the fresh Angular version 17 book, has just been launched, and it is even smaller, which means it is about 100 pages less than the previous version or the first version. But the code I showed yesterday as well in my stream, the projects are amazing. So do look into this. I'm going to share the direct link as well if you're interested into it. But you can essentially go to ng-cookbook.com and then you can go from there to the books page. And you can get a copy. I think Amazon works in India pretty well, so you can get a copy. It doesn't work in Pakistan, unfortunately. So people from Pakistan have to get either an ebook or have someone who can bring it to them. But anyways, we were looking into just providing this feedback. So let's have a look at the feedback as well. Now we have all the reactions. We got the feedback as well. We're gonna also do this anonymously from incognito as well. Let's quickly join. Let's say too slow. This is my comment. But actually I can say Ahsan from incognito instead of anonymous for my name. And then here I can say too slow, bruh. And then I can hit submit. Feedback submitted. I should have received the feedback here, and you can see it updates in real time. Ahsan from incognito said, too slow, bro. And we got the feedback. Now, what I want to do is, I want to also update this session. So I want to add a field like first field, number of stars to show, and then I can also add a quality of the content, 8 stars, and then save the session. Now, when we do this, and if I go now, you'll see I don't have any feedbacks on these ones from any of the people. But if I refresh the page now, I should also be able to see these questions. Yay! So first field, 2 stars, quality of the content, 7 maybe. We can submit this and we should be able to see that right here, even without refreshing, because this comes in real time. So now what I want to do is I want to take the data and then create the questions based on those and the answers based on those as well. So if you don't have experience with backend, it might be a bit advanced for you. But if you have worked with databases or backend in general, then I think you'll understand what we're doing. But I have to do this anyways because I have actual users using this application at the moment. So I need to optimize the data because right now what we have is, if I go to my extension, which is Postgres Explorer, and if I go to PulseChecker localhost and go to key v public, and let's see if I can find this session. So here we have the session whose ID is this. So let's say I say refresh item, I go to session and I try to get like top 1000. So in this one, we do have this session right here, which has all of these properties. So Rapid API host is the title of this one. Now what I want to do is I want to find all the feedbacks which have the session ID equals to this. So let's quickly create a query. So we can say select star from, and here we can say public dot feedback. Should it be inside quotations? I think maybe, where session ID equals this. So let's run this. Public dot feedback doesn't exist. Of course it doesn't. Okay, so then if I've already selected it, can I get it like this? Session ID doesn't exist on feedback. Are you sure? The feedback that has session ID, or do I have to select? Because I remember maybe I don't need to put that. Why does it say so? Relation public dot feedback does not exist. Okay, let's see. So if I do select top, let's say 20, so it just asks feedback. Okay, so then I don't need to do public dot feedback, but I think I did that. But then it says session ID doesn't exist in there. Why does it say so? If I copy the column name, do I need to specify this in the quotations then? Yeah, I think so. There we go. So this one doesn't get the values in this case. And if I look at the session ID itself, then the session ID of this was Rapid API host, and this is the ID which I have. So this one should be the ID. Something happened. My VS Code died. What? Where's my query? Give me back my query. Please rerun your queries. Yes, I will. npm start. Close this guy. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look. No Postgres SQL Server database detected. There should be one. Let's go to Postgres SQL Explorer. Go here, Kiwi, public, refresh items. We close this guy. We also close this guy. Don't save. And then we can do a new query on feedback. Feedback, new query, and there we go. So we should get all of them, but we only want the one where we have the session ID that we looked at. So let's select top 100, which was this one. The ID is this one, where session ID equals this one. Session ID doesn't exist, and I get 0. Is it because I'm using the wrong quotation? What? I mean, this has to be inside the single quotes, but I don't get anything. Why? Why is that? Whereas we do have the session ID inside the text, and that contains it. Walaikum assalam, Tahir. How's it going? What am I missing here? Mm, 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 mm. Hmm. Let's have a look at something else. So if I go here, run this, we do get with the session ID. Yeah, I have specified the column name, which is session ID, right? If I change that to mm, I don't know, maybe I need to use the UUID in this case. Wait a second. Postgres query select with column UUID. Mm, 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 mm. We are generating the UUID using v4, but when you try to select them, do I need to specify? No, but this is not the answer. So mm, is that all? Nope. Should still be getting all the IDs. So if this is the session, no, so I'm looking at the wrong one, right? I'm not really getting the session. I'm looking at the wrong answer. So these are all the sessions. So this is the session, or this is the session ID. Then I'm actually looking into the same one. So I should have at least one of those because I have a feedback. This is weird. And then we have feedback rating, which also has a session ID. So if we look at this one, let's see. Mm-mm-mm. And we select 10. So in this case, here we also have a bunch of sessions or ratings which are against this one. So if we go with the same thing here, where session ID equals then I don't get anything. I'm pretty sure I'm doing something wrong here. Session ID doesn't exist. If I don't because it converts it into that. But if I don't use that, then I should be using the column that doesn't exist. No. Not really. Let's have a look. So if we look at the Postgres query validator exporter, test SQL queries, look at this one. So if you are looking at this query, should I see a button or something that says validate or not? Execute query. Where's the execute button? Oh, okay. Here. Doesn't exist. So I have to first create them and then validate them. That's not helpful. Okay, in any case, then we can look into this later because I don't want to spend a lot of time on this one. So if I try to find one single query, let's say feedback, and if I had a new query, which I mean, we could also have used Postgres or PG admin. I don't think I have PG admin installed. Maybe I should have that installed. I think it has much better IntelliSense than the other one. Download. Close unexpectedly. What are you talking about? Ah. Okay, let's download it from here. PG admin. We should be downloading PG admin 4 for Windows. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. I think that will also give us more flexibility into looking into the database and also creating some queries out of it as well. Install for me. In the meantime, let's also run the script that I have created, at least to log some of the stuff I'm looking at. So this is the one that we are looking at. Let's see. So when we run the DB queries, it should get all the projects, and I think we were supposed to just log those projects. Console.log project, and let's quickly run that. So npx ts node scripts merge fields.ts. Where do we have the session? Merge rating, merge fields. Okay. We're gonna keep that as session coming from there, but let's keep it like this. Let's see if we can log at least the project. So this is the project that we have, and then we also have a project that contains a lot of other stuff as well. Well, we'll look into that in just a minute. So pg admin, That takes a lot of time. Have you used pgadmin on Postgres before? The ones who are looking at the stream in the chat. Have you used Postgres before or pgadmin before? I mean, pgadmin has been there for quite a long time for SQL or MySQL. So let's register our server. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look at the credentials. So it should be right here. It's username, password, of course, and Kiwi. Okay. Shahjahan says no, haven't used it. Okay, so let's call it PulseChecker local. As I said, this screen that I'm looking at is really bad, so I don't really see even the outlines here. It's gonna be localhost 5432. Username is username. Password is the most secure password. So this should be there. The database. I think the database needs to change. Parameters, blah blah blah. Tunneling not required. Advanced, meh, not really. This one is gonna be Kiwi. Do we have a test button? No, we don't. So let's save this. So we got PulseChecker, databases, Kiwi. Here we've got, can we zoom in a bit? Preferences, display. Miscellaneous themes. I don't know. Let's see. Object, recent layout. Anyways, so if we have a look at, there we go, much nicer. So we should have schemas, public, tables, and here we have feedback. So let's do a select query, scripts select. So here I need to use public.feedback and I can get all the feedbacks in this case. I really need to change my monitor. Hopefully soon. Mohammed Usman says, have you used it with Golang? Oh, you have used it with Golang. Oh, awesome. That's good. Can we establish where session ID equals, and the session ID that we were looking for was, now I need to see this, sessions was this one. So run it. This should be this, or does it also not count? Now look at this. Here it does it, there it wasn't doing it. Why? That's super weird. If I try the same thing here, new query, does it do it now? Now it brings it. So what was I missing? It was from public.feedback, not just feedback, because I was using feedback. So select asterisk. I like this because I can still be sorry, be in VS Code and I don't have to go from here. So this is yeah, this is what I was looking for. The moi moment. Yeah. But now it works with feedback as well. What the heck? What was I doing wrong back then? So session ID, is it still the same? This is still the same. And the query returns results. I don't know. Okay, anyways. So now that we have this, let's actually have a look at So we do have, these are our feedbacks. So what I want to do is I want to get, first of all, we have feedbacks, and then we have session rating. No, wait a second. We have three different things that we discussed before. We have feedback, we have ratings, and then we have feedback rating, which is a lot of things to work with at the same time. So we don't want that. So I'm gonna actually go to GitHub, PulseChecker, and let's open the ticket as well. Do we have that? This one is done already. This should also have been a convert to issue, PulseChecker. We have not created one. Let's create one. So right now we need to say create feedback migration. Let's sort of compile those together, or sort of organize those together. So feedback migration requires creating a question for each feedback rating or session rating against each session rating. This is what my script should do. So creating a question against each session rating, this is required. Or should I distribute this into one ticket, and then we can add more stuff to it? So let's quickly convert into an issue, pulse checker. Let's add the description right here. So the feedback migration script should aim to remove feedback, session rating, and feedback tables from the database. For this we need a couple of things. First of all, we need to create a question against each session rating, right? Create an answer against, and this is a question. This is, I don't know what we called it later on, because we don't have that applied. At least, I mean, we have that in the Prisma database, but we don't have that applied. So we did end up creating a question, the response is the one that we need to create. So a question against each session rating and a response against each feedback rating, and then we also need to create a response against each feedback, because both of the feedback rating and feedback are kind of feedbacks against a question. So yeah, that's the one. Once we have that, then we can have essentially then we can remove the tables that we don't really need, but we need to create some before that. Okay, then I think we can keep this one as it is, and then we can also create one ticket for removing the feedback feedback rating and session rating tables from the database. So we need to do that. We are going to create just a ticket at the moment. So the first thing is we don't have these tables at all in our schema. So here you can see we don't have a question, we don't have a response. So we need to first create those. For that, we'll just run a migration script, but we also need to create a down migration script as well. So Prisma down migration. And we want to generate the down migrations because if anything fails in production, we can always revert back to the previous situation. So this is the one I'm gonna be using. So we need, this one requires a shadow database, this one does not. So I'm gonna actually use this one. So we already have the changes that we need inside our schema. I'm gonna create this one to create a down SQL. So notice what's happening in this particular file. You'll notice that we have a table created. So we have, first of all, you'll see this is a down migration. So this is the reverse of what we are trying to do at the moment. Right now, our schema says that we need to create a question table. We need to also create a response table. We also need to create a question type enum. The down migration says otherwise. Drop the question type enum, drop the table, drop the table. So this is going to revert our changes which we have not made yet. So it's always nice to have this down migration created before. And now I can actually create the migration. So here I'm going to now create my migration, and I'm also going to change the battery of my camera. So let's see. And this should come live in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Awesome. So let's run the migration now. We're gonna name this one add question and response, since we are adding a question and a response table. So let's quickly add that, and you'll see that we'll have a new folder created with this new migration, and our migration will be shown as well. So here we have the new migration created. This is what it did. It created an enum type in the database. It created a question table. It also created a response table. So this is the migration itself. Then if I want to reverse it, I have the down one, in which we drop those tables that we just created. So I'm going to move this down right into this migration. So we have both of them in the same folder. So if I need to run the up migration to production now, I can run this migration. If I need to revert that, I can go and run the down migration. And all of these actually have the previous down migrations as well, as you can see. So this is a really good strategy. Now our database has the migration done, but my client is not generated. So I need to generate my client again, because for some reason this node modules in my Windows machine get messed up all the times. I did fix it. Oh, I know why that happens, because my server is running, that's why. So I'm gonna actually run, I figured it out. Previously I was like, well, why does that happen? So let's quickly do the same thing. So npm prisma migrate dev, which should say everything is migrated already in sync. The Prisma client generated. Cool. Now I can run npm start and it should be good. So now if I go to my tables here, I should see the new table. So let's refresh. And there we go. You can see that we have the response table right here as well with all the columns. So ID, session ID, question ID, created ad, update ad, and content. The content type is supposed to be JSON. And then we also have a question table as well, as you can see. So all the columns that we have right here as well. Cool. Awesome. One thing that I also want to look at is in the question, we do have this foreign key on cascade. Oh yeah, I mean, we are using the cascading delete. But I also wanted to look at the question type. The type is question type, right? Cool. So this is good. So we first create the question type, then we assign the type to be question type, and it's not going to be null, it's going to be provided all the time. Cool. Now that we have this, we need to create all the questions against all the sessions that have a response. Now that's what I was looking at. If I that means if I have a session, then the session automatically creates a question. Oh, this is not something I've thought of yet. When I create a question or when I create a session, the only thing I can do is react on it, or I would have to actually create. I mean, but that we can look at that later. It's fine. But so far, what we have to do is we have to create a new question whenever there is a session going on. Scarlett, hey, how's it going? The stream is going pretty well. Thank you for asking. How's your New Year's going so far? But since I've thought about the issue, let's actually create a ticket for this one. So we need to create, I think by default, we need to create the comment question or give the user the opportunity to have a question by default. So if we look at the app right now, this rating is one question. This quality of the content rating is another question. This pace is supposed to be a question, and this comment is supposed to be a question, right? This, I mean, the signals and the comment. So by default, what I think is every session, or I mean, it should depend on the project itself, on what kind of questions they ask on their session. But the ones that we have right now, we would have to create a pace and a comment for both of them. So if I look at the ticket that we just created, we would have to update this just a bit. So let's have a look at this one. So we need to create a question against each feedback, or create a response against each feedback. But we also need to create two questions. So we need to say create a question against each session for pace for existing sessions, and then also we need to do the same thing but for the other one. Scarlett, how about you? Have you been streaming as well, and what did you stream about? And we need to also create a question against each session for comment for existing sessions as well. So these two things we need to do at the moment. I think we can start with this. So once we have the comment question created, the pace question created, then we will look into the answers. So first of all, we need to create all kind of questions and then the answers. So this one is pretty easy, I think, because every session that we have so far has a question and has a pace, or has a comment question and a pace question. So what we need to do then is, if I look at the script that I have, and we can also debug via just creating another VS Code script for this one. So we should have a add configuration. We should be running via npm, and we can say something like, I don't know, scripts migrate feedback, for example. And then here we can run the run, and here we can say migrate feedback. So let's quickly put this script inside the package.json, and I'm gonna put it right here. And then here we can say npx ts node scripts slash merge fields. I mean, instead of merge fields, we can just say migrate feedback in this case. And we can also just migrate feedback.ts, right? So let's run this actually. So we're gonna go and put a breakpoint right here and here. Let's go to debug and let's run this guy. Let's see what happens. Okay, so now we've got projects, two projects basically. One has 2 sessions and the other one should have more, 11 sessions as you can see. So for each session, we need to create 2 questions, one for pace and one for comment. That's what we are going to do. So let's first change this or create a because okay, let's think about this. Each project should have at least 2 questions, pace and comment. So what we're going to do is we're going to say create pace question, and this goes inside the project itself because each question is not linked to any session but rather the project ID. So we need to do it against the project ID. So let's quickly do that. So in this case, we should get a project that is going to be a project. And then what we should do is create, I'm going to stop the script, and then we should be creating those. So let's quickly bring it down a bit. And in here, right after the project, we can say await, and let's also make this an async function. So let's say async project blah blah blah, and then we can do await, and here we can say create pace question with the project. Okay, so in the project, what we want to do is we want to say const question equals, or here we can say pace question because that's what we are going to create here. And here we can say Prisma dot question dot create, and in here we need to create one single question. So here the project ID, oops, data should have project ID should be of the project dot ID. What else does it require? So it requires project. A project contains name. What are you talking about? What a project? But this is the project payload. Project payload goes against this one, but yeah, ID, name, owner ID, privacy level, blah blah blah. We can look into the Prisma to look at this. So each question contains an ID, label, type, order, project ID. Order is not required, so type is required still. So let's quickly say the type is gonna be comment. Then we also have, did we get the type from Prisma? Oh, okay, Prisma client, got you. Then we should also have the label. The label should be pace in this case, and then we also have this is not required, configuration responses. I think now this is a bit tricky because then the configuration that we have right now, we can't say it's not null, but the configuration for pace, we don't have a configuration for pace. I mean, we do have a configuration for pace. Yeah, we do have a configuration for pace. For comments, we do have for comments, we don't have. Let's have a look at this. So the library that we have, PC UI, has the interfaces, and the interfaces has questions, right? So we do have a question comment that just has the type comment and doesn't have a, the configuration here can be just an empty object, but do I want to provide a configuration to all of them or to null? I could say configuration is just an empty object and this should be fine then. But should I make it null? Because I don't have a configuration for comment, but that would mean that I would have to say for every single type of question it can be null or it can be something, which makes it a bit weird. So we don't want to go that route. So let's keep it the empty object. So this question, I think these are the only things that are required. Yeah, the type, the label, the project ID, and then the configuration. The rest of them have default values or are relations. So we create a paste question for each question created. We can then return or console log the paste question created. So we can say checkbox paste question created, and here we can say paste question. Okay, so we create a paste question for each project. We then also create a, but we also want to do this if we don't have a paste question for them, right? Because we only want one of them, if that makes sense. So we'll also have to look into if we already have this created or not, and if we are doing this for the first time as well. So we create the paste question for, I'm thinking, should we have also a constraint where you can't have the same question for two I mean, no, I think we can leave that as it is. Then we should also create the same thing for a comment question. Comment question, and this is gonna be, oh, but we are doing it wrong. We should have, this should be comment. Oh, this should be paste. I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I heard the washing machine, so that's what happened. Alrighty, so we should then say this one should be of type signals, because we are talking about paste there. So this should be, whoopsie, this should be of type signals. The configuration for this one should be, I think it requires, if I go to the interfaces, if I go to lib PCUI source, because I need to have an interface for these. Don't Angular have a full stack framework? It does have now. It's called Analog.js, but I haven't used it. I'm using NestJS and Angular. So const paste question payload equals signals question. Can I get it please from the types here, which is all right, let's try to bring it. So here we have import from PCUI source lib interfaces, and I mean, we could get something from it. So here I should have question. Can I get it? I'm not exporting this. That's not good. Export star from questions interface. Am I missing anything else? Session, report, reactions, question, feedback. Yeah, now I have everything. So here, now I should be able to say question with comments with config. So here I should say payload is actually question with config, where I lost the data that I had. No, I had that in my clipboard. Bring it back. Thank you. Now you can go and change this. Super cool. Okay, so here, if I say I have the configuration right here, then I would have to say that this configuration, since it's signals, I want to have the options array. That's what I was missing. So options, there we go. And it's gonna have an options array in which we have a label. The label are going to represent the same three states that we have here. So too slow, good pace, too fast. So let's go with the first one, too slow. And the value is gonna be slow. We also need the color as well. So the color, I'm gonna put just yellow in there, or I mean, I could also pick the color from here as well, which is I need to go to the computed to find the color. Da, 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 da. Color, background color. This is the one. So RGB this. I like this extension, which gives me all the colors that I need. So this, and this. Why does it cry? Am I missing something? It's missing the following types. So ID. But I don't have ID, so I am gonna use omit and the ID. Okay, now this should be happy. Am I missing something else as well? Project ID, following types: created add, updated add, order, disabled. But I don't have to have those types. All of them, I mean, a lot of them are not really. True. I mean, I would have to give them, but then, okay. And I just say partial off config, which isn't nice, but I'm gonna use that anyways. I mean, it's or can I say omit ID and just the ones that I don't really need? So for example, I mean, I have ID. I also want to get rid of created add, updated add, config, and disabled and ID. Or should I also then, I'm thinking, I could have created one more type that could be export type question with config payload equals, and here we can say something like omit question with config ID created at updated at disabled. Is there anything else that I want to say it shouldn't have? So ID, label is required, type is required, order is also optional, so we can also say order. What else? Project ID is required, disabled, not too much. Yeah, I think this is good. So now instead of creating this on 100 places, I can just use this right here and import this guy, and we should be good. Awesome. Good. Let's also pick the colors from this, which is this guy. So this one should be called good pace, and this one should be an RGB of green. Then we also have this guy, which should be this color, and it was too fast, right? Too fast. And this one should be just good and should be fast. So slow, good, and fast. This is the configuration of the pace question payload that I'm gonna pass as data right here, and this should be good. What am I missing? Wait a second. as. But because this one doesn't satisfy now this one. That's not good. Tech Insider says, I'm coding Svelte Kit to build my own SaaS with your Angular stream playing. Awesome. That's super cool. I'm looking forward to what you build. Okay, so this one is not assignable to type. What am I missing? Color, right? Well, where do I have null? Where do I have null? That's not it's not clear to me. So configuration in this case is okay. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Order ID created and updated and disabled. These are the ones that we have omitted from question with config as a type, right? Oh, okay. Okay. I think the problem would be that I would have that I would have to do and that I have to do with all of them actually. No. I have to actually do all of this. This is not what I like. I know there's a good way of doing this, or I hope there is, but I don't know that yet. Because this would solve the problem. Look at this. Because when we try to do the one I was doing before, it omits everything as a union from this one, which is not required. So it ends up having nothing at all. So we want to do an omit of all of them and then taking a discriminated union of those, which is, yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. But okay, okay, I'll take that. No problem. Because if this is still type safe, or this is, I mean, yes, type safe still, because now it will say, give me the configuration. You're missing the configuration. Property configuration is missing in the type. This is the one. I like this extension, by the way. So anyways, this looks good to me. So paste question payload comes in here, creates the paste question with the payload, and then does it. Super nice. Love it. We'll do the same with the other one. So let's do this. Here we'll say comment question created. We'll rename this to comment question. And we'll also change the payload. So here, the type should be comment. The label should be comment. And this should be comment question payload. And this does not require any configuration whatsoever. So no configuration required. I'm going to just leave it as an empty object. And why does this cry now? Is it because I don't want to have the configuration? No, that's not good. So we do have the project ID. We do have all the things there as well. The comment does not require anything. We have just the type in there. So question comment has everything in here as well. I'm looking at what is it crying about now? Okay. This is because I need to provide it as a JSON object value. Okay. I think it should come from Prisma client itself. I can't recall now what was the value in there. Let's see. Prisma JSON value. Working with JSON fields, this should be JSON.parse. Prisma.json. Yeah, that's what we are looking at. So question Prisma, and here we can say as, not here actually, here we can say something like that. Prisma as Prisma.json object. Not happy still. JSON value is not assignable to type blah blah blah. Configuration is incompatible. JSON value is not, but these are different now. JSON null and input JSON value. Okay, so then isn't it this one says JSON input JSON value. What was the other one? JSON null. Not really. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Do I mean that? No. Okay, wait a second. Hey Rahul, how's it going? Because if I don't do this, then since I don't have the configuration, I could have just done this and actually this, which wouldn't then need all of these types at all. And I can then avoid all that magic that I'm doing there. Then I can do await, create comment question, project, and we should be good. But why doesn't it work for the other case? I'll look into that later. How are you doing, Rahul? So we got a comment created here, then we got project ID as well. So that means now we can have at least these questions created for all the projects, and then we can look into all, because each project has these questions, and then every session can refer to these questions and can respond to those, if that makes sense. So before we start with these questions, should we because I want to run this script, but then I also want to, I'm thinking if I should run multiple scripts or have one script that does it all at once, because when we go to production, we should have just one script running. For now, I think we could just look into, if the project has questions, then we don't do anything and we return, or if the project has questions, then we remove them and then do it all over again, which should be fine, but it doesn't sound nice to me. Mm, 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 mm. For these ones though, all right, let's do it like this. We're gonna have a config in which we can define if we should run a particular step or not. So let's say const steps, and then we can say something like create pace question true, create comment question true, right? And here we can look into those. So if steps dot create comment question, we run the comment question. If steps dot create paste question, we run that, otherwise we don't. So we'll mark these done as we go forward. Then we can also have create so we have created paste and comment questions for both. Then we have to take each feedback that we have gotten, because each feedback contains the paste and the comment both. So we can say create response for paste and comment false. Let's keep this like this at the moment. So now we can run those and see if we can get those created, I think. And I think we'll then just leave it at this, that we have the paste questions created. Okay, how does that sound? We've been live for about 1 hour and 32 minutes. I don't want to go overboard on this one, to be honest. So 2 projects, both of the projects should get some questions created. That's the idea. So if I go to Postgres, if I refresh, I should be able to see public refresh items question. So right now there are no questions, 0, and there are no responses, but our job is right now to just create the questions. So we'll start with that. So let's do that right now. So I'm going to run the script, and hopefully we should be able to create the comment question and the paste question for those. So let's quickly go in here. Let's go here. We got the first project. That is this one with the ID this, and we got about 11 sessions in there. So we're going to start creating the comment question. So we have that set to true. So if I go inside, we are setting the project ID right here against the project ID, and then the configuration is this one. So we can wait. The comment question has been created with this configuration, and we have this. So we'll go in outside of it, and in the meantime, let's also have a quick query to see the question now. So we have our first question created. Yay! The label is comment. The type of the question type is comment as well. The order is 0 for this. Then we have the project ID set to text. Then we have disabled, set to false, created at, updated at, and the configuration is empty for this one. I'm not sure if you see the configuration, but let's do it like this. So you see the configuration now being empty, an empty string. Cool. So now let's move forward from the script, which is right here. No, not here. Where's my script? Here. So it's gonna create the paste question now. So I can quickly go here, create the payload just like that, then have the question created, and now we have the paste question created as well. Super cool. Let's go out from this, and now it's gonna run the same thing for the other project. So now we should have 2 questions, and both of them against the same project ID, which ends with A289. A289. Cool. Let's close this guy, going in for the second project. And now this project essentially has just 2 sessions, but this project will now also have the questions as well. So in this case, I can do project sessions, and this will create a comment, and this will create the paste question, and now we should be good. So now the script has ended and we are able to create the questions that we required. So if I go to my Postgres, go here, we should have 4 questions. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 question contains, 2 of them contains empty, which is the comment type, and the signals contain the color, the options as well, which is super cool. So I'm gonna leave it as it is right now, and we'll circle back hopefully tomorrow or the day after. We'll see how that goes. But thank you everyone who has joined us today. Super cool, super good to see you. And as I said before, Happy New Year. And I'm gonna see you in the next stream. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.